Hello everybody, thank you for joining us for our museum moment today. My name is Erica Pelly, educator at the High Desert Museum. Today I want to talk to you about one of our most fun classes called Desert Waters. This program we are able to offer at no cost to students in the 4th grade because of the support by the Lonza and Jonas Family Foundation with additional support from Cascade Natural Gas Environmental Community Opportunity Fund, Pacific Power Foundation, and TC Energy. So because of these sponsorships, continuing to support our programming in this virtual platform, we are so grateful to them. And this stream table is something that is a highlight for this Desert Waters class, but also something that could be an educational tool at home, and I'll tell you more about that in just a sec. One of the things that this stream table represents is how water flows through a community. You can see we've got several communities here, but it also showcases how erosion takes place with that moving water. And erosion is a natural process that is from water or ice, like glaciers, or even wind when it kind of deteriorates landscape. This is a really great way to showcase how that moving water can change this landscape. And what we're seeing here is an entire flood, and that is based on the natural slope of the landscape. And I was not expecting there to be such a dramatic change to these poor communities. But you can see that based on the water flow, the water did not stay in the river channel, but really took a path that it wanted to take on its own. So why the dramatic end here is such a great learning tool is because it's a really great way to talk about why we have reservoirs, and especially in the spring, how the seasonal flow changes with the snow melt that is occurring right now. So with these landforms and the stream tables, it's really fun to come back, recreate your stream, your river system, and then even add components like barricades as dams, or even trying to put natural materials like rocks, sticks, and even trying to engineer things like dams with river controls, water flow barriers and mechanisms, as well as maybe some human engineered products that might stop erosion a little bit. The reason why we're having such a dramatic change here is because we've elevated it so that the viewers at home can get a good view. But let's see what happens with some of these additional materials now that we've added them in. So you can see, and I'm going to step back so that we can get a closer view of how that water is moving that sand. And sand is a really great medium for this demonstration because it does pick up and move so easily. Compare that to a large rock, and you can see now that our trees are starting to go away. So thinking about how the landform can change based on these erosion practices. But it's not just erosion that we have to consider, because all of the sand that gets swept away has to go somewhere, and it gets deposited into a process called deposition. So all of the sand that has started to build up here where the water started to slow down is a really great example of deposition. You can go and see some of these features if you go for a hike, and our friends at the Upper Deschutes Watershed Council have some really great resources if you have a chance to go out and do a stream hike and do one of their programs that is available virtually. But another thing that you can do is make your own stream table. So I've got an example here, taking a turkey bake or any kind of pan. I did put a hole in the bottom. I filled it with a little bit of dirt and just found something to prop it up. I'm going to just add some natural material in there just to give it a little bit of some features, and then we can do our own example by pouring some water right inside there. And you can see how there's deposition happening by the buildup of the sand that is getting eroded upstream, and it'll eventually make its way down. And you can play with this for what I've seen to be quite a long time, especially if you're at home and it starts to get really sunny outside. You could do this outdoors. This is a pretty miniature at-home version. Some have even gone to taking a tarp on a hillside, filling that with dirt, and taking a hose to it. So giving you guys some really good ideas at home if you need some fun yard art to also take your education out into the yard. With that, I just want to mention one more thing, because it is such an important part of our community that we have a river system that goes through, and that is the potential for pollution. Right now we're about to put a lot of fertilizers on our lawns so that they get nice and green, and of course we like to talk about the pollution aspect to our watershed systems with any water class that we do here at the High Desert Museum. So I've added a little bit of food coloring, and the intention there is just to highlight how in a water system the pollution has the ability to travel exponentially based on the movement of the water. So you can very easily see that even though the pollution was point source right up here in just one or two locations, it easily moves throughout the entire river system. Thinking about how the communities of Lapine and Deschutes affect everybody downstream on the Deschutes River, and that would be Redmond and Madras, even down to Maupin. So with that, we want to again thank our sponsors for letting us showcase these great experiences that we love doing here in classes. But of course, here are some ideas that you can explore some of these stream tables, landform formations, erosion and deposition at home. But again, also encouraging you to check out the real features out there, going for a hike and doing some of these outdoor field trips that you can do during this time of homeschool. So with that, thank you so much, and we'll see you for the next museum moment next week.